Hey, this is coquipirate, and we are starting off Serenity's DML's channel with a video. And actually, one of the things we like to talk about a lot is politics. And now, you identify with the Puerto Rican Independence Party, correct?
A bit, yes.
Okay. And so, their slogan is independence, democracy, and socialism. Now, would you identify yourself as a socialist as well?
A bit, yes.
A bit. Okay. Now, just for the viewers, because I don't know how many of your subscribers are Puerto Rican. I don't know how many you have. You got me, I'm Puerto Rican, so I know, but I'm sure you'll get many more. The United States has been occupying Puerto Rico for near 120 years now. And the independence movement was initially very popular. Cuba and the Philippines had successful independence campaigns when in regards to the United States, but the Puerto Rico ones sort of died down, and since the 50s, when Puerto Ricans have been allowed to vote for their own governor, they have not held a single term in office. Now, what do you think are some of the obstacles impeding the Puerto Rican Independence Party for coming to power for at least one administration?
Well, definitely popular opinion. I think that a lot of the voters are misinformed about the party and some of our goals, and I think that a lot of people don't vote independent or don't affiliate themselves with the party because they feel that we're really sort of anti-US, and I don't think that that's the case, you know. They also feel that, you know, voting for a governor or a representative who is affiliated with the independent party would be a bad thing because it would make us automatically another country, and obviously that's not the way it works either, you know, because there's like a big long process that goes along with it. But I think that if they were to look at the candidates, and, you know, at least in the past two elections, the candidates have been recognized as being the most educated, you know, in the debates that they have before the elections. You know, it's, you know, they recognize that they're the most educated ones and that they would be really good as governors, but nobody wants independence because they think that it'll mean that we'll become a third world country, that we'll all have to be working out in the fields, you know, like an agrarian style, and they don't like that kind of thing. And I think that they have this opinion, which is really not true. So yeah, gotta break through that.
Do you feel as though the candidates for the Popular Democrat Party and New Progressivist Party attempt to perpetuate this misinformation? Do you think they do anything that kind of nurtures this kind of fear-mongering towards the Puerto Rican independence movement?
I don't, well, it's possible that they have, but not that I've seen. I don't really get too much into the, you know, the advertising that a lot of these parties do, you know, mostly because I just don't like the idea of, you know, seeing what ways they kind of tear at each other. But I do think that the people themselves who are in the party or affiliated with the party, or the voters, I think that they definitely do. But more than anything, I think some of the people who belong to the independent party themselves kind of make themselves look bad by doing a lot of protests when they don't really need to. You know, a lot of times people join the party because they think that it's where all of the extreme leftists are, or because, you know, they think that we're, you know, rebels against democracy, and so they join because they want a cause to fight for, or something like that. And I think that they kind of make themselves look bad sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say are the biggest bits of misinformation that are around the Puerto Rican Independence Party?
You know, that they're all macheteros.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that they all sort of, you know, fight for whatever cause, basically.
Okay. Well, yeah, for the viewers, the Macheteros are a well-known group of Puerto Rican independence advocates, and many of them have been associated with acts of violence, crime, and terrorism. I believe on my channel, and I'll be sure to put up a link, I mentioned their leader, Filiberto, who was eventually assassinated by the FBI. And I mean assassinated, you know, people make a big deal, like, we're Osama's rights. It's like, yeah. Osama was shot and killed. Filiberto was shot and allowed to bleed out, so... lost my train of thought. What do you think would be the best way to further the Puerto Rican independence movement?
If the candidates were allowed to really get out there and show and sort of dispel these rumors with the voters, you know, and just I think for them to get more involved with the communities, so that the communities could see what these candidates really want to do for the country, for the people. I think that would help a lot. A lot of times they don't have that much money to get out and do things for the community as much as the other parties, and that really kind of hinders us. So I think that's one big issue.
Well, you mentioned trying to dispel these rumors and not seem so extreme. Mm-hmm. I think that's definitely a good thing. It might be a drawback as well, though, because I think a lot of people are drawn to the Puerto Rican Independence Party specifically because they come off as so extreme and because of all of the rumors around them. What are your thoughts on some of the more extreme members of the party?
Well, I don't think that joining for those reasons are maybe the best. I mean, I think it would be better to just show people what the party's really about, you know, which is the progress of Puerto Rico as Puerto Ricans, you know, not necessarily as affiliated with the U.S., you know, to progress, you know, with our own culture. And if we emphasize that, then we'll have more people become affiliated with the party for the right reasons, you know, with the goals that we could all share in, and not just the going against democracy or you know, those kinds of rumors, that kind of stuff. People who are upset with the United States for whatever reason, I don't think that it would be a good idea to try to continue to garner affiliates for those reasons.
Okay. And just to kind of wrap things up, because you mentioned, you know, the way people sort of attack one another and the whole advertisement process. What are your thoughts as far as the democratic system as it is in Puerto Rico and the way that the four active parties right now work towards getting votes?
I think that it's pretty messy. I mean, the way that any change happens in the island is just really slow, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the people in the House of Representatives and you know, in the Senate and everything here in Puerto Rico, they come from different parties, and they're sort of really loath to work with each other. You know, they not that they loathe it, but they're like really slow at it. You know, they just don't really like the idea of you know, like there's this prejudice that goes against, you know, against the parties against each other, and I think that affects a lot in the democratic process, and in the, you know, like in the way that they make the laws and the way that everything is kind of held together, you know, like it just, that I think that really gets in the way, that sort of prejudice that everybody has against people from the other parties.
Okay, awesome. Well, yes, this has been Serenity DML's first video. Welcome to our channel. Good day.